Hey everyone, I am coming to you from beautiful Charleston, South Carolina, and wanted to talk to you today about multiple sclerosis and mental health. So, we already know that mental health is an essential part of managing life in general. But when you add multiple sclerosis to the mix, it can make it that much more difficult to feel like you can manage mental health. So, I have some must do's for you for maintaining good mental health with MS, and they relate to reflect, reinforce, reinvent, and re engage. So, let's get started. First, reflect. Take time to reflect on your emotions and thoughts and identify any negative patterns that may be affecting your mental health. Reflecting on your feelings and experiences can help you identify triggers and develop strategies to cope with them. For example, we've talked about journaling and meditation and therapy because they are helpful ways for you to reflect and manage your emotions. If we don't talk about what it is we are dealing with our multiple sclerosis or with our mental health, either are going to be affected by the other. So I need you to get out that journal. I need you to get out that journal and start writing. If you don't have a journal, just get out some paper and start writing. And I know for a fact that in this technology based society that some people don't really take out the paper anymore or take out the pencil or pen anymore. It's okay to write it. Don't have a computer, just use your phone, download an app because there are apps for journaling. You really cannot get around this one. If we don't reflect back on what it is that we've gone through, we are not going to change how we deal with it later. It's kind of like that saying, if you don't know your history, you're doomed to repeat your history. So that is the perfect example of what will happen if you don't take the time to journal. Journaling may also allow you to get some things out that you see that you need to cope with or deal with, and you might want to take it one step further and get therapy. I've been in therapy for over a year now. It is the best thing that I have ever done for myself. If you are worried about money, if you're on Medicare, if your insurance isn't going to pay you for it, there are several things out there, options out there that you can look at to see if you can get therapy the way you need to pay for therapy. Some you don't even have to pay for. If you have Medicare, you can look at it's Dr. Phil's on demand, or Doctor on Demand. Thank you. Thinking about TV. Doctor on Demand. They will actually take you if you have Medicare and you won't have to pay for therapy. I have believed in or heard of BetterHelp, and they also have therapists out there that you can look at. So think about reflection is very important for your mental health. Next one is reinforce. You have to build a support system that reinforces positive mental health and well being. This may include family, friends, healthcare professionals, and support groups. Surrounding yourself with people who understand and support you can provide a sense of belonging and improve your mental health. I think I said yesterday I mentioned how isolating yourself is not good. You want to make sure that you are around people who are good for you and you are good for as well. But when we talk about finding a support system, that is going to reinforce your mental health because you have people to turn to. You have people that you can discuss situations with. We already know that in the Bible it says two are better than one because if one falls, the other is there to pick him up. This is the same to reinforce the support system, or have a support system to reinforce your mental health, to reinforce things that even can go wrong with the MS. Again, just like I said for reflect, if you don't reflect, it's going to disturb your mental health, which is therefore going to disturb the MS. Same with reinforce. If you don't have a support group there for you dealing with the MS, it's going to mess with your mental health. I remember when I was first diagnosed with multiple sclerosis, and it seemed like everybody just disappeared. I'm not sure if they were worried about me needing too much or they didn't want to see what was going to happen with me, but the fact of the matter is they disappeared. So I could only rely on my family who were 2 hours away. And it was hard for me. It was hard for me to realize that there were people who were in my life and just ended up leaving. And it could have been for any other reason, but I was just diagnosed with MS. And they took that time. They took that moment in time then after I found out I was diagnosed with MS. So it will always seem to me that they walked out of my life because of the MS. Either way, someone had to be there to support me. And I found a support system. I found a support system through a support group that the doctor had told me about. But I also found a support group because I started working Mary Kay. And they became good friends. But I also found a support group in the nurse that worked with that doctor because she had called often and made sure that I was getting the right medications, I was doing the prescription thing correctly, and they were right across the street from me. So I was able to reach out to them. And it was nice to have someone there. I was looking for reinforcement in so many areas, and so many people weren't there, but the people who were there really helped me get through it. Turn to your family, friends, and support groups and your health professionals for the help you need or for the reinforcement you need. Number 3 is reinvent. I love this one because I did this. In fact, these 4 points I call my 4 R's of mental health. And they've always been there and I've always done them. It just took me a moment to realize that I was so consistent at doing them that I wanted to share them with people. Reinvent. MS can cause physical and emotional changes. So it's important to reinvent your self-image. Sound familiar with glamour, huh? And find new ways to express yourself. Engaging in hobbies or creative activities can be helpful ways to reinvent your sense of self and maintain a positive outlook. Look, I said in the description, mental health is hard, and we know mental health is hard, and it takes a licking but keeps on ticking. Mental health, that is, and not always in a good way. But when we take the time to do what we need for ourselves, it will it'll work if you work it. Okay. So I had mental health challenges after I had a really bad breakup with a boyfriend. I think it was close to 2001 to yeah, 2001, 2002. And and it was a really bad breakup. And I always think that the way that I reacted was what saved me, because I went out there and I put myself out there to do things. I said 2000, 2001. That's incorrect. It was actually 2006, 2005, 2006. But I put myself out there. I reinvented myself. I always loved acting. So I got myself involved in a play, ended up acting in for color girls who have considered suicide, even though the rainbow was enough. I acted in that play in Greenville, South Carolina. I was able to get involved in volunteering. They had something called HOG, which was Hands on Greenville. I was able to get involved in different groups that I knew were I was passionate about, the young professionals of the Urban League. I was able to put myself out there and better myself and improve myself. And I concentrated more on that than I concentrated on the hurt that I felt, the pain that I felt. Same thing happens with MS. When when I was first diagnosed, I know that I ended up leaving probably about a year later. I ended up leaving Indianapolis. And I came out here to Charleston and I could not stand it. And I sat and I pitied myself and I was sad, and my mental health went way down. So it affected my MS because I started to gain weight, which affected my MS, which affected my self-esteem. And I'm so glad all those years later, maybe I look back and was like, hey, you can't just sit around and be sad. You got to get up and get back out there and just be who you're supposed to be. And I have a friend who says, if life isn't what you want it, then you need to make it what you want it to be. And I look back and I'm like, hey, I kind of did that then. So I need to work on doing it now. But I specifically need to work on it when I'm having struggles with my mental health, because it just makes you step back and take a look at what's going on and where you want things to actually go and how you want things to be. So the reinventing can actually take place when you're reflecting on other things, when you're reflecting on other issues that you're going through. And number four, re-engage. This is what I felt like I did when I was having that mental health struggle in Greenville. I re-engaged. I got involved in things. So stay engaged with your community and participate in activities that bring you joy. Maintaining social connections and engaging in meaningful activities can help prevent feelings of isolation and depression. This can include volunteering, taking part in community events, or rejoining a recreational group art club. So I just talked about all the stuff that I did, and it kind of went right there and re-engaged. But I reinvented myself as well, because that wasn't even what I was doing. And I've always wanted to act. So I just became what I always wanted to be. And I went out there and we had several different different times that we performed that play, and it was so much fun. So I reinvented myself because I did something that I'd always been interested in and never taken the step to do or the steps to do, but I re-engaged because I put myself out there and got involved in the community and participated in activities, volunteering, recreational things. You have to re-engage yourself, even with having multiple sclerosis. And it feels like at times there are things that you cannot do or things we're limited in doing. Re-engage, because there are different ways that you can do it. There are different ways that you can be part of the community. There are different ways that you can help in volunteering in recreational clubs. Everything doesn't have to be exactly the same as someone else does something. Okay, someone else might be able to help by gathering wood and taking it to an older couple's home so they can use their fireplace. Okay, I'm not going to chop wood. I'm not going to take it inside to to anybody. But if that there's an older couple who is isolated, I can maybe go grocery shopping with them or for them. I can come by and visit. I can I can just sit and talk, make tea, make conversation. There are ways that you can do things that are important, but not might not be the same way other people can do it, but it's still engaging. So I want you guys to look out for the fact that I'm going to go ahead and make this book available to people because it really helped me to take these steps, reflect, reinforce, reinvent, and re-engage. And I talk about it a lot, but I haven't made it available to anyone. And my MS community, those of you who have multiple sclerosis, I really, truly believe we need to take the opportunity to make sure that our mental health is in the right place so we can maintain the lives that we want. And part of that starts with taking responsibility for how our mental health is. So just want to let you know I'll make that available to you all on here, and I hope it helps you as much as it helped me. So I will be back to talk to you all tomorrow. Take care.